Welcome back to our marriage. Am I gonna say a season? I guess. Let me say a season. So we talked.
I think it's serious.
Oh yeah, that's the word. Serious. Thank you, baby. We talked about previously how we got ready to get married, and today we're gonna talk about the challenges that we faced when we decided that we were ready to get married. This is leading up to the date of getting married.
Hello. Hi. Thank you once again for having me.
Welcome.
Challenges. Well, after I think you said I do.
No, not before I do. That when I said I will,
Okay,
yes,
that makes sense.
I will marry you.
Don't know why in my head I had a different one. Maybe I'm just ready to get to after we said I do.
Let's start when you asked me. Where did you ask me to marry you?
The first or the second time?
The second time, Pella. This is the one where we get to marriage. We're not talking about the first time.
I asked you in your house.
In my home.
Yeah.
In my room.
So.
In my room. In my home.
Okay, so one of the things probably that we should mention is the fact that you are the one that made it to be in your room, to be honest.
Okay.
Because you said to me at some point, and this was very early in our dating, you said you never wanted to be a spectacle, of which is weird because when you look at videos or you watch videos, you always want me to watch those spectacle videos. So I've never actually understood.
It's good to watch, but it's not something that I feel like for me, it would have been such a sacred moment that I wanted it for me. I don't know if I'm making sense, but I wanted that specific thing, that it's mine. It's my story to tell my children. It's my story to tell people. I never wanted, I've
never gotten this explanation before, by the way.
Yeah, this is YouTube. I never wanted it to be like, oh, we were there, we saw it, there was, will you marry me? It's beautiful. I love it for other people and I love watching it. I absolutely love watching it. He just said it now. I call him to watch all the time. It makes me feel good when love is celebrated. But for me personally, I wanted that to be mine.
Anyway, so I got to her house.
My home.
Mom was there. Yes, your home. Mom was there. I remember when I got there in the morning. It was a Sunday, so we had to go to church first.
He was coming from Pretoria.
And I got there and okay, we quickly, wrap things up. You set some breakfast for me. I ate. And then we went to church, we came back. I don't know where Mom was going.
She went to the shops quickly.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so while I was unpacking my suitcase, I had a little gift box in there, and I said, well, I bought you something, of which it's a norm for me to buy you stuff.
Yeah.
So I gave you that box, and I was like, I hope you like it. And you started wrapping it. You're very slow with it. And then my heart was just beating like nobody's business.
Just bounding.
So you finally got, because it was a big box, and the big box had a small box.
Yes.
And then you opened it. When you opened it, you thought it was earrings. First, and then you opened it, and I remember you turning back to me, and I was already on my knees then. And then I asked you to marry me. She just cried, and you went.
I went down on my knees.
So we're both down, and I'm like, no, you're supposed to be up. You can't be down on your knees before you say yes. You know, and she cries and cries and cries, and then she's, and I'm like, what are you saying? Is that a yes? It's like, yes, yeah. And yeah, man, that's when you said I will. Well, then on that very specific weekend, I told your mom,
Yeah.
that I had asked you to marry me.
Yeah.
And Mama was very happy. Mama, because I feel that more especially us guys, what we tend to do is we ask the lady to marry us and forget that
They come from a home.
yes, we still need permission to actually marry her. Because I actually asked your mom to marry you again.
Before.
Yes, even in that room when we were there, I asked her again.
I remember.
You know, and then she was like, "Oh, well, I don't have a problem with that." For real? I was like, "No, I don't have a problem." I knew it was coming.
Yeah, she really liked him.
So then, obviously, darkness never likes light.
You were still based in Pretoria. I was still based in PE during this time. And
I think you were working for...
you were not going to mention them. I was working for a bank.
I will say their name.
Sorry. I was working for a bank at the time.
I was working for a bank. So she couldn't actually move because her region was there. So you were working in a specific region. And you couldn't move, and we had to actually have those hard talks, those very unpleasant conversations, like, okay, so we want to get married, but
where are we going to live?
What's going on?
Yeah, because we've been long distance.
And I remember you saying you're going to come to Gauteng. And I was like, hell, I don't want to stay in Gauteng anymore. I've been there for about 10 years. No, 9 years, actually. I wanted to just leave. I didn't care at that moment in time where I live to.
Yeah.
But obviously, at first I wanted to go home.
Yeah, he wanted to go back to KZN and had asked for a transfer at work.
Yes, and they had literally said, okay, wait. In a space of this, you'd probably be able to.
Yeah.
You know? And I waited. And literally on the last month, you got a job in Cape Town.
Yeah.
And there's another challenge.
I was getting further and further away.
And I remember you called me, or as I was driving to a checkers near me. And then you're like, babe, I got a job. You got a job. Oh, that's fantastic news. It's great. So where's the job? That's why I'm calling you. I don't think I want to take it.
Yeah.
And I was like, why wouldn't you want to take a job? And they were like, well, it's in Cape Town. Oof. I had to park and
catch a breather.
And just be on some in Cape Town.
Yeah. It's always been a holiday destination kind of thing.
So she says Cape Town, and I'm like, man, no. Not Cape Town. In my spirit, I was like, go to Cape Town. But in my head, I was like, nah. Go look for another company or something.
Yeah.
You can't go that far, you know. So it took some convincing between myself as well. It was a little WrestleMania.
Yourself.
It was a little WWF in my head as well, in my spirit. And I finally, while we were actually still talking, I was like, no, take it, man. Go to Cape Town. I remember telling you that I'm going to be in Cape Town in a month. And mind you, there was no plan in me to Cape Town in a month. And I was like, no, I'm going to be in Cape Town in a month. Give me 1 month, I'll be there. You know.
Challenge number 1.
Yeah.
I was moving further away. And while he was applying for work in KZN, and he got the promise at work that he would move there after a certain period of time. On my side, I was also applying for a different bank or the same bank in KZN at the time, because we were like, okay, sharp, we're both gonna move to KZN.
You actually got somebody promising you
a position that side, and then that fell apart. Then I got a job because my contract was ending. So I then got a job from a different company that moved me to Cape Town. So I moved to Cape Town at the time. And then after that, he then said to me, I'll be in Cape Town within a month. I was like, this nigga. What do you mean?
There was a salary change. You know, it
Drastic.
It was bad.
It was very bad.
But there was a salary change, and you know, I'm grateful that it happened, because even though there's so much that happened after it happened, it taught me a lot of lessons that I did not know
Before.
Yes, I didn't know that kenze kuswele.
Ooh.
You know, I saw it, but I never actually experienced it, because even when I was in Joburg, if there came times when I'm running low, there was always people around me. Family. Yes. It was easier to ngihlanganise and see myself. So I never actually say soilile.
Yeah.
You know, so there were times when I no ngiswele, man.
Good tough.
What am I gonna do?
Good tough, guys.
You know, what am I? I'm in Cape Town. The rent is crazy.
A lot.
Like apartment in Cape Town. Just for those perhaps who don't know, an apartment in Cape Town, 1 bedroom is like a 3-bedroom back in
the price of it.
Just pricing.
Yeah.
You know, so you'd be paying perhaps around 8,000 rand, just to make an example, for a small little studio.
Very small, guys.
Small studio that you can see your toilet from, and you're paying around 8,000 rand, and you're not used to it.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of things, and a lot of things just flowing from you that make life for other people as well easier. And this moment in time, you can't fulfill everything.
You can't do the things you used to do before. Because one, there's a drastic move that just happened. 2, there's a salary cut that happened. The salary cut to a city that's costing more than where you were before. So that was very challenging.
So, you know, we were also now having problems.
Yeah, that we never had before.
Yeah. And we had thought Uguchi moving closer would make things easier.
Yeah.
And now there's more challenge.
Yeah.
You know, and it was very hard, because those challenges actually came because of finances. You know, and
finances are a problem.
And we're not even married, mind you. You know, so in all, I remember this one time where we actually got to a point of we were breaking up. Mind you,
I don't remember this time. You keep talking about this time. I don't remember this time.
So we got to a point whereby we were like, okay. Well, you said it together. You actually said it. It wasn't me. I was just listening.
Trust me with walking away.